आज देश के साथ खुल रहे हैं उम्मीदों के पंख और अनबॉक्स हो रही हैं अनगिनत करियर अपॉर्चुनिटीज। ये ही राइट टाइम है सक्सेस को अनलॉक करने का। 3 करोड़ से भी ज्यादा स्टूडेंट्स के ट्रस्टेड लाइव कोर्सेज, मॉक टेस्ट और बेस्ट स्टडी मटेरियल के साथ ग्रेड अप की सही प्रेप विल हेल्प यू अचीव योर करियर गोल। व्हाट्स मोर, पाएं अट्रैक्टिव डिस्काउंट अपने टारगेट कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स के ग्रेड अप सुपर सब्सक्रिप्शन पर। Why wait? आज ही अपने ट्रस्टेड ग्रेड अप के साथ अपनी मोस्ट इफेक्टिव एग्जाम प्रेप शुरू करें।
हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू ग्रेड अप, इंडियाज लार्जेस्ट लाइव लर्निंग प्लेटफॉर्म। सही प्रेप है तो लाइफ सेट है। गुड मॉर्निंग ऑल ऑफ यू। So in this operating system capsule 5, we are going to see another CPU scheduling algorithm, which is LRTF, and that is longest remaining time first. Okay, so guys, do subscribe to this grade up YouTube channel and like this video. So before starting, let me introduce myself. My name is Anshul Sharma. I have 1+ years of teaching experience and mentoring GATE CS aspirants. In GATE 2020, I have secured All India Rank 294. I have also qualified ISRO and NIELIT exam. My area of expertise is OS, digital logic, compiler design, DBMS, discrete mathematics, and computer networks. So those who want to prepare for GATE 2022 or 2023, so they can subscribe to Grade Up Super for Vision 2022 English batch, for Vision 2022 Hindi batch, for Vision 2022 Hindi or English batch. So for all these streams, it is available. So in this batch, you are going to get 850+ hours of live classes, 8000+ practice questions, 100+ chapter-wise study notes, and 120+ mock test. So subscribe to Grade Up Super, and for more information, you can contact on this number 9650052904. So Grade Up is providing you flat 50% off to unlock your success. You can start your preparation for GATE exam or PSU Computer Science exams with Grade Up. So you will be getting flat 50% off on Grade Up Super subscription. So you can use this coupon code, that is unlock50, to avail this offer. And this is the link of the Telegram group. You can join this group. You can connect with me, and you will be getting the PDFs of all the YouTube classes, doubt clearances, and if you want any guidance related to your preparation, definitely you can ask in this group. So the link is Anshul_Sharma_CS. So let's start longest remaining time first CPU scheduling algorithm. So the criteria is burst time. It is also dependent on the burst time. The mode is preemptive. That means you can preempt the process in between as well. Now let's understand this CPU scheduling algorithm through an example. Suppose 6 processes are given to us: P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, and P6. Okay. Arrival time is given to us and burst time is also given to us, right? Now let's schedule these processes. So at 0 units of time, you can see P1 process has arrived in the ready queue. So we can schedule P1 process and we can schedule it for 1 unit of time, because we have to see whether other processes are going to arrive at 1 unit of time or not. So we can make it 6, right? Now at 1 unit of time, P2 process has also arrived. P2 process has also arrived. Now you have to compare the burst time of P1 and P2. The process which is going to have the larger burst time, we are going to schedule that first. So you can compare, P1 is having the larger burst time than P2 process. So we are going to schedule P1 again for 1 unit of time. So 1 plus 1, it is 2. And here we can make it 5. Here. Now at 2 units of time, P3 process has also arrived in the ready queue. Now compare the burst time of all these 3 processes. So you can see for P1 it is 5, for P2 it is 5, for P3 it is 3. So there is a tie between P1 and P2, right? Both are having same burst time. So we are going to give the preference to the process having lower process number, that is P1 here. So let's schedule P1 again. So 2 plus 1, it is 3, and we can make it 4 now, right? Now at 3 units of time, P4 process has also arrived in the ready queue. Now if you compare the burst time of all the 4 processes, you will find it out that P2 is having the highest burst time as of now. So we can schedule P2 process now for 1 unit of time. So 3 plus 1, it is 4, and we can make it 4 here, right? Now at 4 units of time, P5 process has also arrived. So now compare the burst time of all the 5 processes. So there is a tie between P1 and P2. Both are having 4 burst time as of now. We are going to give the preference to P1 process. So for 1 unit of time, we can schedule it and we can make it 3. Clear? At 5 units of time, the last process P6 has also arrived. And now you can see, you can compare the burst time. So P2 is having the highest burst time as of now. So we can schedule P2 process for 1 unit of time. And we can make it 3. Now at 6 units of time, you can see P1, P2 and P3. All these 3 processes are having equal burst time, right? That means 3. So we are going to give the preference to P1 process now. So 6 plus 1, it is going to be 7. We can make it 2. Now we are going to give the preference to P2 process. So let's schedule it for 1 unit of time. 7 plus 1, it is 8. We can make it 2. Now it's time for P3 process. So 8 plus 1, it is 9. We can make it 2. Now there is a tie between 4 processes, P1, P2, P3 and P5. So as we know, lower process number, we have to give the preference to that. So 9 plus 1, it is 10. I can make it 1 here. Then we are going to schedule P2 process. 10 plus 1, it is 11. Let's make it 1 here. And then we are going to give the preference to P3 process. 11 plus 1, it is 12. Let's make it 1 here. And now we are going to give the preference to P5 process. 12 plus 1, that is 13. We are going to make it 1 here. Now all the processes are having the same burst time at 13 units of time. So now we are going to give the preference to P1, then P2, then P3, then P4 and then P5. So 13 plus 1, it is 14. We can make it 0, right? And then it is P2. 14 plus 1, it is 15. Let's make it 0. Then it is P3. 15 plus 1, it is 16. Let's make it 0. Then it is P4. 16 plus 1, it is 17. We can make it 0. Then it is P5. 17 plus 1, it is 18. Let's make it 0. And in the end, it is going to be P6. 18 plus 1, it is 19. And let's make it 0. So all the processes have completed their execution. Now from this chart, we can write the completion time of all these processes. Right, we can write the completion time of all these processes. So for P1, the completion time is 14, right? The completion time of P1 is 14. For P2, it is 15. For P3, it is 16. For P4, it is 17. For P5, it is 18. And for P6, it is 19. Now we can calculate the turnaround time, that is completion time minus arrival time. So it is going to be 14. This is also 14. 14, 13, 17 minus 3, that is also 14. 18 minus 4, that is also 14. 19 minus 5, it is also 14. Right, so turnaround time is same for all the processes in this case. What about waiting time? So waiting time is turnaround time minus initial burst time. So 14 minus 7, this is going to be 7. 14 minus 5, that is going to be 9. 14 minus 3, that is 11. 14 minus 1, that is 13. 14 minus 2, that is 12. 14 minus 1, that is 13. So we have calculated waiting time as well. Now it's time to calculate response time. So as I told you, in case of preemptive CPU scheduling algorithm, your waiting time may be different from the response time. But in case of non-preemptive, always the waiting time will be equal to response time. And what is response time? That is first time CPU allocation minus the arrival time of that process. So here, first time CPU allocation happened for P1 at 0 units of time. So 0 minus 0, it is going to be 0. For P1, it is 1. So 1 minus 1, it is 0. Sorry, for P2, it is 3, right? For P2, it is 3. So 3 minus 1, it is going to be 2. It is going to be 2. Now, for P3 process, so where it is P3? Yeah. Here, at 8 units of time, we have allocated the CPU for the first time to P3 process. So 8 minus 2, it is going to be 6. For P4, it is 16, right? So at 16, 16 minus 3, it is going to be 13. For P5, first time CPU allocation happened at 12 units of time. So 12 minus 4, it is going to be 8. For P6, that means at the end, it is 18. 18 minus 5, it is going to be 13. So you can see waiting time is not equal to response time in this case. Now you can find out the average turnaround time, you can find out the average waiting time and average response time as well. Just add all these values and divide by the number of processes, which is 6. In this way, you can schedule the processes using longest remaining time first CPU scheduling algorithm. I hope it is clear to you. So these are the star faculties we have at GradeUp for computer science courses. So you can subscribe to GradeUp Super and start learning with GradeUp. In GATE 2021, we have 10 plus gradients under AR10 among all the streams. So that is a big achievement for GradeUp and its students. So subscribe to GradeUp Super. You will be getting unlimited access to structured live courses. Green card is also included in this, in which you are going to get 100 plus online mock tests designed by the toppers based on the latest exam pattern. In structured live courses, you are going to get India's best faculty, complete doubt resolution, full syllabus coverage for your exam. And for more information, you can contact on this number 96500529004. You can also install GradeUp app that is available on Play Store, and you can attend free app classes as well as free mock test on GradeUp app. So thank you everyone for joining this class. I hope you have enjoyed it and you have learned the concept of this LRTF, longest remaining time first CPU scheduling algorithm. So I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care and bye-bye.